Good mild midday weather wonders. It is I, your warner of all things winter, back with you and your Winter Strikes Back weather report. So last week at this time I was talking about the simple snowstorm that was Winter Storm Gomer, and now we're looking at 5 to 8 inches. I predicted 5 to 8 inches. That was our first big snow of the 2019 winter season, aside from the blizzard back around Thanksgiving, and we got 12 inches. Again, my sincerest apologies. I was way off on that storm. That was a long storm. This one's a much more fast mover, a ridiculously fast speed actually. It's already starting to cross into parts of the Mississippi and northern Illinois. And this one I'm calling Winter Storm Vader, like Darth Vader, with a tip of the hat to my fellow speech coach Scott Pyle, who gave me the name, as hence Winter Strikes Back weather report, which is quite appropriate with the Past Prologue theme. The Weather Service didn't waste any time on this one like last week with Gomer. They've already issued the winter storm warnings for pretty much all our area, and the timing of the snow is going to be later this evening, I think, for most of the area. But as we're already seeing on the radar, we start to see some energy coming off on the east side, up in northern Illinois, and even down to our friends in Hancock and McDonough and Henderson counties. So you might already start seeing some snow. The bulk of the activity will still be later this evening into the overnight hours. So with Winter Storm Vader, we're looking at rain to snow ratios of 15 to 1. It's a much drier snow than what Gomer was, because with Vader, it's a faster system. The thing is we're most concerned about, or I'm most concerned about as far as this storm is concerned, is not the snowfall totals, because they'll be about half or a third of what Gomer was, but it's the winds on the backside that will cause all that blowing and drifting of snow. And then the cold that follows, that's the biggest concern for me, and we touched it on the Wednesday YouTube video. But the cold that follows, and some of the models we've seen as far as wind chills and overnight lows, this is where meteorological mayhem is taking us as far as the weeks to come. So to all the followers, whether you've been with me since college days at NIU on the old dry erase board in my dorm room, or through when I emailed you the reports, or through MySpace, then in Facebook in 2007, and now as Mike and I enter into YouTube just this past week. Again, thank you for the 1,000 views. That's very humbling in 24 hours. But you all know that I've always given great consideration when I come for the titles of these weather reports, because I believe that you do not judge a book by its cover, but some people do. So when they see Past Prologue or Winter Strikes Back, maybe they'll open it up and read more. Again, there's always great focus on the title, because in the idea of the Past Prologue, it's what comes after. Yes, we have another winter storm. This is nothing out of the ordinary. Again, snowfall totals are low, but it's what comes after that should be the main focus. To get a better idea of what's coming in the future, we have to evaluate the past. 2 weeks ago, we all know we were experiencing some very, very mild conditions. 2 weeks ago, actually Saturday, we were up in the 50s across most of the area, and that following Tuesday, and Monday and Tuesday, some places reached 60 degrees. Now, that's very mild for early January winter weather. And then the stratospheric warming kicked in, reset our weather pattern. We saw Winter Storm Gomer last week with that foot of snow in most places. And now we have Winter Storm Vader, a fast mover, as the dark side usually is, with an arrival later tonight. And they'll be out of here, actually, by midday tomorrow. I know there's winter storm warnings till 6 o'clock tomorrow night. I think that's the blowing and drifting factor coming into play, because I see this thing as a fast mover. I think it could be out of here by late morning tomorrow, to be all honest. But with Winter Storm Gomer, when it was over, we were kind of, as far as example, on Sunday, my family and I went sledding, and we were outside all day, and it was very mild and comfortable. What comes after Vader is, it's freezing outside, because the cold air is going to be filtering in. Gomer, it was quite the distinct difference. Another thing with Vader, it's a fast mover. We've talked about that. Vader is a much higher snow ratio, so for every inch of rain, we have 15 inches of snow. I still see us on the low end around 4 to 5 inches. We're going to talk about that as well. So we talked about on Wednesday the northern stream and the southern stream, and how phasing has to occur for the higher snowfall totals. As you all know, Sunday and Monday, some of you so kindly tagged me in posts with 18 to 20 inches of snow, and I said, I'm not one of those sky is falling weathermen. I detest those doom and gloomers on the Weather Channel. I'm not a D&D weatherman, and this is why I always wait till usually the day before a storm arrives or a weather system arrives to give you these reports, because models constantly change, and I'm not one of those D&D meteorologists. I always look to models for guidance, or wait until agreement is reached, because agreement in the weather world is confidence. And as all weather enthusiasts, whether it be professionally or hobby, know how vital it is to be confident in your forecasting. Let's look at some of those models. So this is the latest North American. If you can see here, this is that outflow of energy we talked about coming off the east side, off the northern stream. This is the southern stream. Yet to couple, still probably going to couple over here. We're looking just under 5 inches of snow. With today's GFS, we are 3.5 inches of snow for the Peoria area. Again, heavier snowfall total southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois. The southern part of the state, it's hit or miss. It all depends on where that stream comes in. But as you see for our friends in Indiana and Ohio, particularly the Northeast, lots of energy when the storms couple. They're looking at a foot of snow, if not more, possibly 18 to 20 inches. This is the Euro. This is the most dependable model we've looked at lately. So again, this is Iowa, Illinois. You notice again the energy off to the east and then southern Iowa, but around here about 4 to 5 inches of snow. So we always look to models for guidance. The next thing we want to talk about is, and you're all focused on, is how much snow you're actually going to get. Again, I think it's most of it, for a majority of us, arrives after 9 o'clock tonight. Just like Gomer, a majority of the heavy snowfall will be in the overnight hours while we're all snuggled away in our beds. And by the time it's all over, in our area for central Illinois and down around Springfield, I think 4 to 5 inches is very likely. Northern part of the state, Chicagoland, my friends in DeKalb, the old Husky territory, Rockford, Galena, southern Wisconsin, northern Indiana, I think 6 to 8 is very likely for you as that energy offsets. And the southern part of the state, and this is where it gets really tricky, is it depends on how soon that southern stream meets up with that northern stream where that coupling I talked about on Wednesday occurs. I don't really see it happening until Indiana, Ohio. So in that case, for those two streams to converge, they've yet to make sweet, sweet weather love. So I'm leaning towards the lower numbers, 2 to 3 inches on the southern part of the state, if any. Now, everyone will be impacted by the gusty winds, and that's a big focus for tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. The gusty winds out of the north with the dry snow will blow and drift it all over the place. I cannot stress this enough to all of you out there listening and watching. Please, please, please use extreme caution on the roads tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon, and tomorrow night. Have your ice kits ready in your car. Bundle up as the drops in temp will really start to kick in after Vader departs, unlike Gomer. And the cold that is coming. So not only next week, so these are lows. Well, actually, this isn't lows. This is a surface map. I love these type of maps because this explains weather to me. So here's the cold air filtering in. This is where the polar vortex is over Manitoba, so call it a Manitoba Mauler. Cold air starts to kick in next week, and then by the end of the month, we talked about the polar vortex on Wednesday. Boom. Minnesota, Wisconsin, terrifyingly cold temps, dangerous cold temps, and the wind chills to follow. So these are low temps on January 30th. We're looking at overnight lows 30 below zero, wind chills 50 below zero. And one last thing I want to leave you with as we're looking at all these images, and I'm sorry I'm not as organized as my written report. This is the European snowfall model up until February 2nd. So here in Peoria, we're looking at additional 17.8 inches of snow. Say we get 4 inches out of this storm, we're looking at another 13 before the end of the month. Northern Illinois, Rockford, Galena, Chicago, 28 inches of snow is what you can expect from now. And again, this is a model, so it's all anomalies, but this is what we're looking at up through February 2nd. Lots and lots of active weather patterns, particularly the northern part of our state, northern Iowa. And the southern part of the state, Springfield, about 16 inches of snow. Indianapolis, around 22 inches of snow. So lots of snow to come, lots of cold to come. Please, please, please be prepared, stay safe, and as always, share, like, whatever you do, subscribe with any and all that you may feel be interested, entertained, geeked out, still friends wearing shorts, let them know about this, or in need of a depression. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate the likes, appreciate the subscriptions, and as always to all my followers, this is new, this whole video venture. So thank you so much, guys. Take care, be safe, and hopefully we don't have to come back anytime soon, but just know, cold air next week, freaking crazy cold in 2 weeks. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day.